everybody so much. This is such a great moment. So I'm going to ask you to indulge me because it's been a long campaign, and many of you know that most of the times when I talk, I just talk from notes because I hate reading stuff. But I have written this down to make sure I can get it out. Before though I start on my prepared remarks, I need to thank some people, and I can't name everybody by name, but there are so many people in this room who did so much. There are those women who showed up every day at my office as volunteers and kept God bless you. And there are those people out there who put together fundraisers. There are people who gave $10 and the couple who constantly gave me $3 and $5 because that's all they had. And people who just gave me love and advice. Yes. And speaking of love, you know, John Wooden, who some of you probably know, the legendary coach from UCLA, said the two most important words are love and balance. And I have talked a great deal about balance in this campaign. Not so much about love, because I didn't have to talk about it. You guys just gave it. Jabber about this because I was going nuts. And for everybody who put out signs and did everything else, just know how much I appreciate you and thank you. And my family could not be here tonight except for my son who's back there somewhere and just, I think with his fingers crossed. And my mother who is in Willisville tonight probably trying to get attuned to one of the channels in Little Rock to know what's going on. But here's what I want to say to you. For over 30 years, I have taught my son, and I have taught many of you, and many of your children, the two most important and most powerful words in the English language. So I always like to start by simply saying, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your help and your time. Thank you for your love and your prayers, and I would always say don't stop when you would say that to me. Thank you for your votes and for the victory you have given us tonight. I just got a very gracious call from Speaker Wills, and we had a good conversation. And he congratulated us, not just me, all of us, and I wish him the best as well as he moves forward doing whatever he chooses to do after this campaign, because we all need a right. And may I please thank one very special person who's here that's not my family, wasn't here all the time, who was in the race originally. David Bowling, who is here. Who endorsed our campaign and came back to Little Rock yesterday, worked all day today in 100-degree temperatures. So guys, we're celebrating tonight, and you know we're going to celebrate. We need to take a moment to remember why we put in the long hours and the hard work for this victory. While we're celebrating, things are serious. There is a mother who's working her second or her third job to make sure her children will have food, a home, and a new pair of blue jeans when school starts next year. Small business owners are struggling to keep their businesses afloat and to take care of their customers. They are struggling. Somewhere there's a child who is praying as hard as he can in a waiting room at the hospital to make sure his grandmother is going to get well and to go home and have the medicines that she needs. Yeah. Yes. These are Kansans. Tens of thousands of them are why we work as hard as we do. It doesn't matter whether you're rich or poor, young or old, man or woman. It doesn't matter what your race or ethnicity is. We are here to work for you. So whether you live in a big house on a hill or under a bridge, and whether you walk to work or ride a bus or drive a truck, and whether you are an employer or an employee, we work for you.
Yes.
I have spent years fighting for people just like you to make sure your voice is heard and your needs are met by the government you elect. And that's just what I'm going to do as your ardent supporters, Jim. As I have always been, I will be a voice for the people who cannot afford to be heard. I will be a voice for that mother, for that small business owner, for that employer, for that employee, and that child. All of these people working hard and praying that their lives can be better. I will be a voice for all the people in every corner of this district. Everyone without exception. The people who work, and the people who want to work, and the people who know what it means to work. The people who pay taxes and volunteer for the military when many of us do not. And the people who fill up our churches every week. We will work for you. We can and we will win November 2nd. We cannot win. I am hardwired for public service. I am hardwired. We will win because people want gas they can't afford. Amen. And not oil in the Gulf. We will win because people want schools that teach math and science, not fear and hate. We will win because people work too hard to see their taxes wasted on a bunch of nonsense. We will win because people want a government and a member of Congress in the form of Joyce Elliott. So let's celebrate tonight. Remember the love. Remember the balance. Let's celebrate tonight, but set your alarm clocks to get up early because we have work to do. And finally, I just want to thank another group of people who were always in the background. And that's been my campaign staff. They are all in the room. Would you just be quiet? Just hold it for a minute. And wherever you are, if you worked on my campaign staff, I'm not talking volunteers right now, just raise your hand where you are because they're fabulous. There are a bunch of them. Because he was always the one who said, Joyce, we're going to win this thing. So thank you all tonight. We will celebrate. Let's continue to celebrate. I'll get back that alarm clock. I am so ready to do this.